So welcome back to the CEV European Cup's 2025 drawing of lots. Now, we just completed the drawing of lots for the CEV Champions League, but we are not yet finished because we're going to proceed and begin with the drawing of lots for the CEV Cup and also the CEV Challenge Cup. But before we do, we have a video which highlights some exciting moments from the CEV Cup 2024 season with two teams from Poland and Italy who clinched the title for the men's and women's championship. Let's take a look at these highlights.
Who will rise? Who will conquer?
Once again, so exciting and so cool to see these highlights of the men and women competing for that title, right? Federico, before we get started, can you please guide us through this process? And I do believe that we will start with the CEV Cup's women's drawing.
That is true, Norisha. Good afternoon, everyone, once again. It is my pleasure to be co-hosting with you this drawing of lots. As you said, and as we watched the highlights of the past season in the CEV Cup, we do have the winners of the men's competition, Asseco Resovia Rzeszów. They will be returning to the competition, so there is a chance that they can reclaim their title. In the women's competition, the defending champions from Chieri are actually playing the Challenge Cup this year. So there will be a new champion, and that leaves the door open, you know, for a new winner to emerge.
That's right. That's right.
We get started now with the draw for the 16 finals of the Women's CEV Cup, and we do have 16 teams already seeded according to the latest European ranking combining the CEV Cup and the Challenge Cup. And we have 16 teams that we will be drawing out of this cup with your help, Norisha. These are the teams that were promoted from the Challenge Cup to the CEV Cup if they express their interest in doing so. The teams that will fail to progress from the Champions League third round to the fourth round, and also the lower ranked teams among those registered for participation in the CEV Cup.
So, shall we get started?
Yes, so we have the seeded teams, and as always, and as with the previous draws, those seeded teams have the privilege of playing the return match at home, courtesy of their higher ranking. So, Norisha, let's get started and find out who is going to play against OK Dinamo Zagreb of Croatia.
Nice.
And that is Kuzeyboru Aksaray of Turkey, a team that will be playing in the European Cups for the first time in their history. So they will be hosting Dinamo Zagreb first and then travel to Croatia's capital. Next, Norisha. The team that you are drawing now will be playing against Volley-ball Alsace, a club that has played in the Champions League many times, and this will be the team losing matches 9 and 10 in the third round of the Women's Champions League. LKS Komerce Łódź of Poland is the next seeded team for matches 5 and 6. And they will be playing against another loser of matches in the third round of the Champions League, and more specifically matches 7 and 8. Let me just remind everyone that all of the charts and the results of the draw will be on our website and social media channels for people to have a better understanding as to who is who when the name of the team is not defined just yet.
Okay.
So the next seeded team is the winner of the Challenge Cup 2024, Igor Gorgonzola Novara of Italy, a former winner of the Champions League as well. So the team that they are due to play, it's actually a bye. There are 5 byes in these rounds, so it's a lucky draw. They will be advancing to the 8 finals without playing any matches. Thank you, Norisha. Let's continue. We move on to matches 9 and 10. The Belgian team of Chapelle-les-Arlemont is the seeded team. And they will be playing the losers of matches 3 and 4 in the third round of the Champions League. Red Star Belgrade of Serbia is seated in position number 12. Nourisha, please go ahead. So they will be playing Volley-ball of France, a team that has achieved much success in the Champions League as well over the years. The next seeded team is from Austria, and these are Volley Innsbruck. They had a sensational season in domestic competitions for Austrian clubs, and they are due to play MBH Bekes-Csaba of Hungary. The next seeded team is THY Istanbul of Turkey, a team that our friend Naz did play for, and they're used to play in the Champions League as well. They will be contesting the CEV Cup in the 2025 season. And it's the loser of matches 1 and 2 that is going to play THY Istanbul in the CEV Cup, so a team coming down from the early rounds of the Champions League. The next seeded team is the silver medal winner from the last edition of the CEV Cup Women, Viteos Neuchâtel UC of Switzerland. And they also have a lucky draw, so a bye, and they are promoted into the next round without playing any matches.
Lucky.
Dukla Liberec of Czechia is the next seeded team, position number 20. Nourisha, please go ahead. Let's see. And they will be playing Radomka Radom of Poland. So two neighboring countries playing against each other, Poland and Czechia. The Polish team will be hosting the first match, and Dukla Liberec will be welcoming the return game. Nova KDM Branik Maribor of Slovenia is seated next, position number 22 on our charts. And they also have a lucky draw, so no matches to be played, and Maribor will progress straight on to the 8 finals. Dresdner SC of Germany, a team that you know very well from your time in the Bundesliga, Nourisha.
Yes, that's right.
So let's see. The team that you are drawing will take position number 23 on these charts, hosting the Germans and then playing in Dresden. And that is Van Deuvre Nancy Volleyball of France. We are slowly but surely completing the draw for the 16 finals of the Women's CEV Cup. We have Avarca de Menorca of Spain seeded next. We are moving from the top to the bottom of the draw. And it's again a lucky draw, so a bye for Avarca de Menorca. The Spanish team will not be playing any matches and move on straight to the 8 finals. Kaposváry is the next team, NRC of Hungary, seeded in position number 28 according to the latest European ranking list for CEV Cup and Challenge Cup, and they will be playing Tenerife Libis La Laguna of Spain. The Spanish team will be hosting the first match and then travel to Hungary. 2 teams left among those seeded ones. Veka Prostejov of Czechia is the next one, a team that played Champions League for many seasons. This year they will be contesting the CEV Cup instead. So, Nourisha, let's find out what the destiny... And it's a bye. So Prostejov will also play no matches in the 16 finals and progress straight to the 8 finals. Last but not least, we have seeded in position number 32, CEST Volley Alba Blaj of Romania, former finalist in the Champions League. And they will be playing a team coming down from the Champions League, and more specifically the loser of matches 5 and 6 in the third round. Thank you, Nourisha. That concludes the draw for the CEV Cup Women. And the road is actually set. I mean, from the 16 finals, the teams will then progress to the 8 finals. And we should keep in mind that at some point in the competition, in the quarterfinals, 4 teams more will be coming down from the Champions League at the end of the group stage. And these are teams that haven't reached the knockouts, the elimination phase of the Champions League itself.
Thank you, Federico, for that information, because that is important for us to know. And now that we've completed the women's DOL for the CEV Cup, we can now proceed with the men's drawing of lots for the CEV Cup. And
as you said at the beginning of the Champions League draw, Narisha, there is a massive interest from teams from across Europe to participate in the European Cups. We have as many as 204 across all events, across all competitions and the two genders. And that becomes obvious when we proceed now with the draw for the CEV Cup men. We actually have two draws. We start with the 32nd finals, and we have 16 teams involved. All are in this cup, so we will be drawing from top to bottom, and we will be defining who plays who, and it's always home and away matches. So, Narisha, please go ahead. The charts are there, and the matches will be played, as you can see, at the beginning of October.
so here we go.
We start with SK Zadruga Eichstab of Austria, taking position number 1. So they will be hosting the first match, and who is going to play the Austrian team, we'll find out in a second. And that is Lausanne UC of Switzerland. So two neighboring countries playing against each other in the 32nd finals of the CEV Cup men.
I think they're happy with not
It's not a
having to
long
travel.
journey,
Yeah.
yes. So we continue now with matches 3 and 4. Narisha.
And
That's a loser of matches in the Champions League first round, matches 13 and 14. I understand and I appreciate that it is a bit complicated for people to have an understanding of who is who, but all of the results, all of the charts will be available on the CEV website, and people can go back and really have a better understanding of which teams are involved in which competition and in which round.
yes.
So to play a loser from the first round matches in the Champions League 13-14 will be another loser from the Champions League first round matches 1 and 2. We continue with matches 5 and 6 in the 32nd finals of the men's CEV Cup. And we do have a team from Bosnia and Herzegovina, Oka Napredak Obžak. Thank you, Narisha. So the Bosnian team will be playing at home first, and then will travel to Cyprus to play Pafiakos Paphos. Thank you.
Slowly but surely, I'm beginning to see the bottom of the...
Yes, yes. We have matches 7 and 8, which are the next ones coming up. The first team that you draw, Narisha, will be playing the first match at home, and that is Volley Haasrode Leuven of Belgium. Thank you. Taking position number 8 in the grid for the 32nd finals of the CEV Volleyball Cup men. That's a team coming down from the Champions League first rounds, so the eventual losers of matches 15 and 16. We move on to matches 9 and 10. As you can see, there are no seeded teams in this stage of the CEV Cup. And we draw from top to bottom. And we have the loser of matches 5 and 6 in the Champions League first round, taking position number 9. Let's move on. Position number 10. This one team will have the privilege of playing the return match at home, and that's Oka Merkur Maribor of Slovenia. And as you might remember, they even played in the Champions League a couple of years ago.
Yep.
They did break the dominance of ASEA Volley. So they are now back to the European stage and will be playing in the CEV Cup. We have 6 teams left.
Let's see.
And this one and the next one will be playing against each other, matches 11 and 12. We start with the loser of matches 7 and 8 in the Champions League first round. So we will have to wait for completion of the Champions League first round to find out which team will be taking spot number 11. And next?
5 more.
We have this spot number 12, and that goes to the loser of matches 11 and 12 in the Champions League first round. So basically we have 2 teams coming down from the Champions League playing against each other, so that it's another chance to continue their European journey. If they don't progress in the Champions League, then there is one more chance
to get the title.
Yes,
Yeah.
and to do so in the CEV Cup.
Yeah.
Last 4 teams involved in this draw.
The final 4.
So we have the team of Volley-ball Sastamala of Finland taking position number 13. Many fans would recall that they have played Champions League and especially the early rounds for a few years. Nourisha, let's find out who is going to travel to Finland, if we know at this stage already, because as we know, there is also the early rounds to finish.
That's right, and it looks
the case. So matches 3 and 4 in the Champions League first round, so the eventual loser of those 2 matches will be traveling to Finland and then host Sastamala for the return match. We complete this first draw for the men's CEV Cup. Nourisha, well done. Positions 15 and 16.
Teams. Here we go, Federico. The way you looked at me as I stirred 2 balls in the cup. And
we have the one team finishing 3rd in the Champions League preliminary round. As you might recall, we said we had to add these extra rounds, which will feature the national champions of Cyprus, Latvia, and Ukraine. So the one team finishing 3rd and last in their one tournament will be playing matches 15 and 16 against, let's find out.
Drum roll, please. And that team, Federico, is...
There is another team coming down from the Champions League and the loser of matches 9 and 10 in the first round. Thank you, Nourisha. That completes the draw for the 32nd finals of the CEV Cup Men. And as I said before, we do have 2 draws in this competition. That's the only one. We have a second draw for the 16 finals. As we will be able to see in a moment with the chart that has been prepared for this purpose, we do have a number of seeded teams. These have been seeded according to the latest ranking that combines CEV Cup and Challenge Cup and the results that national federations have achieved in these competitions. And we have 16 teams to draw. It is your responsibility once again, Nourisha. And those teams, as they are drawn, they will be playing the first match at home. And those seeded ones, they will be hosting the return match.
All right, let's get started.
Let's get started. Seeded first is Drijsma Dynamo Apeldoorn of the Netherlands.
Oh,
it did fly out. And that is the winner of the 32nd final matches 1 and 2. In this draw, we do not know most of the teams because previous rounds have to be played and completed, but at least we perform the draw, and when the time comes, the teams will know exactly which team they will be playing.
Compete against.
So seeded next is Lindemans Aalst of Belgium. And they will be playing a winner of 32nd final matches 5 and 6. Once again, I will not get tired of repeating myself. All of the charts will be on the website for people to have a better understanding of who is who, and the interconnection between the different competitions will become clearer. Yeah.
So,
seated next are the defending champions in the men's CEV Cup, Poland's Asseco Rezovia Rzeszów. So, Nourisha, is it a winner of the 32nd? It's a loser from the Champions League, third round. So, matches 25-26. So, Rzeszów will have to wait for a while before they know which team they will be playing, as the early rounds of the Champions League have to be completed first.
Oh.
Let's continue. Seated next, we have green volley Fridek Misek of Czechia.
And they will compete
Against another Czech team, VK Lviv Praha. So it's a Czech derby in the 16 finals of the men's CEV Cup. So they will take their domestic rivalry to the European stage.
Yes, they will.
Deja Volley Burgas of Bulgaria is seated next.
And they will compete against...
They will be playing the winner of the 32nd final matches 11 and 12. So a team progressing from the previous round of the CEV Cup. That's what all of these abbreviations stand for. Let's continue. We have Volley Amrisville of Switzerland seated next. We are now completing the grid for matches 27 and 28, with the loser of matches in the second round of the Champions League, and more specifically matches 19 and 20. And now, seated next, we have a former Champions League winner in 2007, VfB Friedrichshafen of Germany. So Friedrichshafen will be taking on a loser of second round matches in the Champions League, and we talk about matches 17 and 18. And seated next, Nourisha, this is quite amazing. We have another former Champions League winner, Tour Bebé of France. They won the title in 2005, so it's almost 20 years ago. They will be playing in the CEV Cup this season. Please. So Tour will be taking on a team coming down from the Champions League second round, so the loser of matches 21 and 22. Seated next, we have another team that we are very familiar with, Vojvodina Novi Sad of Serbia. They have been playing Champions League for many years.
Long time. And
so let's find out their
they...
destiny.
I think they have to wait to find out.
They will have to wait until completion of the third round in the Champions League and of matches 27-28. So it's going to take a while, but the time will come.
Patience is a virtue.
So we have CS Rapid Bucuresti of Romania seated next. We are slowly but surely completing this draw, Nourisha, for the 16 finals of the CEV Cup men. So hosting the Romanian team and then traveling to Romania as the winner of matches 9 and 10 in the previous round of the CEV Cup. Kalcit Kamnik of Slovenia is the next seeded team and playing the return match at home. Please, Nourisha. We are slowly but surely getting there and completing this draw.
I'm starting to see the bottom of the cup again. That's a good sign.
And it is the winner of matches 7 and 8 in the previous round of the CEV Cup men. Seeded next, we mentioned them just a little while ago as the winners of the last Champions League, Trentino Itas.
Yeah.
They are playing for glory in the CEV Cup this coming season. Please, Nourisha.
Let's see who the champions are going to play. And
it is CS Arcada Galați of Romania. So the team from Romania will be hosting the Champions League title holders first and then travel to Italy to play the return game. We have 4 teams seeded left. TSV Raiffeisen Hartberg of Austria is the first one. Nourisha, please go ahead.
we have our final 4 here in Luxembourg from the cup. And
that's a team whose identity is not known just yet, but at least we know more. It's a team coming down from the Champions League second round matches 23 and 24. Aons Milon Athens of Greece is seated next on position 44. And they will be playing against the winner of the 32nd final matches 15 and 16. Once again, all results, all graphics, all charts will be on the web for people to have a better understanding of who is who. The last two seeded teams are both from Turkey. We start with Galatasaray Istanbul.
Two balls left.
And they will be playing the winner of matches 3 and 4 in the previous round of the Men's CEV Cup. Last but not least, the seeded team is Ziraat Bank Ankara of Turkey, semi-finalist in the Champions League last year. They will be contesting matches 47 and 48, and they will be playing against the winner of 32nd final matches 13 and 14. So if we were to retrieve the results of the previous draw, then Ziraat would know which two options they have when it comes to their opposition in this one round. So this, Nourisha, thank you very much. That was a long one. Concludes the draw, the two draws actually for the CEV Cup men. We have defined the grid for the 32nd finals and the 16 finals as well. The competition will then continue according to the road that we have set and defined. We shouldn't forget that 4 more teams will be coming down from the Champions League at the end of the pool stage, and that accounts for a very exciting and serious competition on the way to the title.
Thank you very much once again, Federico, for the explanation of the teams and the history of the teams. I really appreciate that. I could never do that, so I'm very happy that you are here.
You are most welcome.
So that completes the drawing for the CEV Cup, but we are still not yet finished because now we are moving on to the CEV Challenge Cup. But before we do, let's watch some fascinating highlights from the 2024 season of the CEV Challenge Cup, where we have also 2 titles, and these teams.
The winners, Projekt Warszawa of Poland and Igor Gorgonzola-Novara of Italy, will not be playing the Challenge Cup in 2025. So that leaves the door open for a new champion to emerge.
That's right, and it's always good. Change is good sometimes. So here, let's take a look at the highlights.
Train for this moment. Fight for this chance.
Welcome back to the drawing of lots for the CEV European Cups 2025. We are slowly coming to an end, but we are not yet at the end because we will now proceed with the drawing of lots for the CEV Challenge Cup Women's. So, could you help us go through the procedures?
Nourisha, I mean, I'll be pleased to do so. And we said a few times already, the interest from the clubs to participate in the European Cups is terrific.
That's right. Yeah.
And that accounts also for so many teams competing in the Women's Challenge Cup this year. We start with the 32nd finals, and this is where we have seeded 17 teams already. Those teams will be playing the return matches at home. They have been seeded according to the position of their national federation in the latest European ranking, which combines the results of the CEV Cup and the Challenge Cup over 3 years, over 3 seasons. So it is again your turn, and we will define, who plays who in the 32nd finals, and then I'll spend a couple of words to talk about the subsequent rounds.
Okay. Shall we get started?
Let's get started, and it's Randaberg EL of Norway, the first of the teams seeded. So,
here we go.
Who is going to host the Norwegians and travel to Norway?
Federico, I think I'm going to be dreaming about yellow balls after today. So many. So,
it is Olympiakos Piraeus of Greece. We mentioned their men's team before. It's a multi-sport club with a rich history and many successes across a variety of sports, not in volleyball. Not just in volleyball, but in many, many areas. CSM Lugoj of Romania is seeded next for matches 3 and 4.
through the mountain of balls, and we have
Shelmy Brno of the Czech Republic or Czechia. So Brno will be hosting the Romanian team first and then travel to Romania to play the return game. Seeded next is a team that we are familiar with from their participation in the Champions League a few times in the early rounds. They are from Bosnia and Herzegovina, Žok Bimal Jedinstvo Brčko. And Norisha, who is hosting the Bosnian team? That's SMS Pfeffingen of Switzerland. A team that you yourself are familiar with from your time in competitive volleyball. Seeded next is AO Tiras of Greece. Please, Norisha. We slowly but surely perform this draw for the 32nd finals of the Women's Challenge Cup. And the winner of the BVA Cup will be playing against Tiras. Allow me just to spend a couple of words. I mean, BVA Cup, that's a competition, a zonal competition run by the Balkan Volleyball Association. This will be taking place in September. And once we know the winner, that one team, that one club will be playing Tiras in the 32nd finals of the Challenge Cup.
Thank you for that information.
So a team from the Latvian capital, Riga, is seeded next. We are addressing now matches 9 and 10. And it's AEK Athens of Greece hosting the Latvians first and then traveling to the Latvian capital for the 32nd finals of the Women's Challenge Cup. Now, we always say that volleyball really unites people and it unites the whole of Europe. And we have teams from the tiny Faroe Islands competing in the European Cups. And Flair Tórshavn is seeded next. So who is going to make the journey to the islands, to the North Atlantic? Let's see.
Not bad. Volleyball unites us too, once a year.
That is very true.
So, let's see who gets to fly to the warm weather.
That's Friso Sneek of the Netherlands. They will be playing the first match at home and then travel to the Faroe Islands to play Flair. LP Kangasala of Finland is the next seeded team, according to the ranking. Which means they will be hosting the return match at their home. And their rival will be Kelag Wildcats Klagenfurt of Austria. Sant Cugat of Spain is seeded next. We are halfway through this draw, Norisha. Slowly but surely we are moving forward. Please go ahead. And let's find out who is going to play the Spanish team. And that is Genève Volley of Switzerland. Seeded next, we have a team from Denmark, Holte EF. And Norisha is now drawing
the opponent
for the Danish team, and that is Kanti Schaffhausen of Switzerland.
Another team that I am familiar with.
Yeah, that you played against, right?
Yes.
Seeded next is SC Potsdam of Germany. They played in the Champions League for a couple of years. This time they come back to the European stage, but they will be playing in the Challenge Cup instead. So, Norisha, let's go ahead. And who is going to play Potsdam? And that's VKP Bratislava of Slovakia. Seeded next, we have Kaunas VDU of Lithuania. And as with all the seeded teams, Kaunas will be hosting the return match at home as well. And they will be playing against Jobs Zwolle of the Netherlands. Ostrava from Czechia is seeded next, and we complete now the grid for matches 23 and 24. So hosting the Czech team will be CSM Targovište of Romania. Thank you, Nourisha. Olympiada Neapolis Nicosia of Cyprus is seated next on position 26. Just a quick reminder, we are drawing the 32nd finals of the Women's Challenge Cup, with matches due to take place in the first half of October. And it's Hapoel Kfar Saba of Israel, the opponent for Nicosia. CSKA Sofia of Bulgaria is seated next, the women's team of a club that has a rich history in international volleyball. Nourisha, let's complete this draw with the last 4 teams, and this one will be playing against CSKA Sofia. Oh,
That popped out.
there is another club with a rich history indeed, and that's Panathinaikos Athens of Greece. So it's a Balkan derby between Athens and CSKA Sofia. Apollo 8 Borne of the Netherlands is seated next.
3 teams left, Federico.
3 teams left, 3 seeded ones and 3 to draw, including this one, which is Pölkki Kuusamo of Finland. So the Finns will be hosting the Dutch team of Borne first and then travel to Holland for the return match. We are almost there, Nourisha.
Almost
2
there.
teams left, 2 seeded ones. Nitra from Slovakia is the next one.
I can see the light.
And it is Levski Sofia of Bulgaria, another Bulgarian team involved in this round of the competition. So they will be hosting Nitra first and then they will travel to Slovakia. We finalized this draw with Keltex Karlovac of Croatia. And who are they going to play in the 32nd finals of the Women's Challenge Cup?
That team is...
That is the winner of the WEVSA Cup. And let me spend a couple of words on this. WEVSA stands for the Western European Volleyball Zonal Association, and this competition open to 8 member countries from the zonal association will be taking place in September, and the winner will get the right to play in the Challenge Cup, and more specifically they will be playing against Karlovac in the 32nd finals of the competition. That being said, we have finalized the draw, but I just wanted to spend a couple of more seconds to show everyone the grid for the 16 finals, where we have already seeded 15 teams according to the latest ranking for CEV Cup and Challenge Cup. Those teams will be playing the return matches at home, and the 17 spots available will be taken by the winners of the 32nd finals according to the grid that you can see. So all is set, all is clear, and from there we will go all the way to
the
final.
finals in the spring of 2025.
Correct.
Seems so far away, but the time goes by so fast. It'll be here in the blink of an eye, right? So those competitions start early October, but we are still not yet finished because we will now move on to the drawing of lots for the men in the Challenge Cup.
Yes, Nourisha, that's the last draw for today and actually for the whole European Cups 2025 season. The procedure we follow is kind of the same as with the Women's Challenge Cup. There is such a massive interest for participation in the Challenge Cup that we start with the 32nd finals. But instead of having 17 seeded teams, as we had in the women's competition, we do have 16 only, so to speak, for the men's tournament. And these are those shown on the chart just now. And we have 16 teams to draw out of this cup, again with your help, Nourisha. So let's get the job done.
I would love to help. Actually, Federico, I think I have the easiest job here.
The team that you are drawing, Nourisha, will be playing against Ukraine's Epicentr Podolyani Hordodok. And that's Pernu Vekea of Estonia.
Good job on the pronunciation.
Thank you.
I would have butchered that name.
We did mention the Faroe Islands before while we were drawing the Women's Challenge Cup, and there is a Faroese team involved in the Men's Challenge Cup as well, Mjölnir Klaksvik. And let's find out who is going to host them and to travel to the Faroe Islands later this year. And that's the Ukrainian team of Reshetilivka. Thank you, Narisha. Aka Volley of Finland is seeded next, position number 6. And they will be playing the winners of the BVA Cup. Again, that's the zonal competition run by the Balkan Volleyball Association. SCM Zalău of Romania is seeded next. That's a club that did play Champions League for a few times about a decade ago.
Mm-hmm. And they're back.
They are back to play Challenge Cup this time around. As you can see on the charts, those matches for the 32nd finals will be played in the first half of October. And to play Zalău, we have Sporting Lisboa of Portugal. Speaking of multi-sport clubs, this is one of those examples. We continue with Spartak Mijava of Slovakia. Narisha? Hosting the Slovak team and then traveling to Slovakia will be the Club Volleyball Melilla of Spain. The next seeded team is a team from our host country right now, Luxembourg. So the volleyball club Strossen.
Woo woo, Luxembourg.
And which team will they be playing? That's Riker Komarno of Slovakia. You might remember Komarno became the first Slovak team, men's team, to play in the Champions League a few years ago. Maccabi Tel Aviv of Israel is seeded next. Narisha, it's your turn again. And their opponent is Volley Bartreng of Luxembourg. We continue with Chenois Genève of Switzerland, which is seeded already in position number 16. We have two teams from this city playing in the European Cups this year, one women's team and one men's team as well. And they will be playing against Panathinaikos Athens of Greece. That's an interesting draw for them. Ribola Castela of Croatia is seeded next, position 18. We are halfway through, Narisha.
I see the light, Federico.
And for Castella, we have another Luxembourgish team, the volleyball club Lorenzweiler. Thank you. And now the next seeded team is from Iceland. And to the best of my memory, I don't think we had any team from Iceland to play in the European Cups for more than 20 years. So let's see who is going to play the Icelandic team in the 32nd finals of the Challenge Cup men. That's a team from the Netherlands, and it is Numidia Limax Linne. Tartu Big Bang of Estonia is the next seeded team in the 32nd finals of the Challenge Cup men. Narisha, we are almost done.
Almost.
So to play Tartu, that's the team from Ukraine, Žitiči Polisia Žitomer. VK Karlovarsko of Czechia is seeded next. We have 5 teams left to go and 5 seeded.
Almost.
So to play Karlovarsko in Karlovy Vary, there is Mok Mursha Osijek of Croatia. The first match will be played in Croatia and the return game in Czechia. Then we have the last 4 teams seeded, Narisha, and we start with the Hungarians of Székesfehérvár. So to play the club from Alba Regia is OK Međimurje Centrometal of Croatia. Not such a long journey for these two teams.
No, not at all.
Then we have the next seeded team up in the north of Europe, BK Tromsø of Norway, who is going to host the Norwegians and to take their journey. Oh, that's from Spain, San Roque Las Palmas actually from the Canary Islands.
Nice.
Rio Duero Soria of Spain is the next to last seeded team. Narisha,
Two more.
two more left, and we are done. And it is Cisneros Alter Tenerife. So it's a Spanish derby in the 32nd finals of the Challenge Cup men.
And they also do not have to travel so far.
And last but not least, Kifisia Athens of Greece is the seeded team, position number 32. Who is going to play the Greek team, first at home and then traveling to the Greek capital city? That is Neftochimik Burgas of Bulgaria. Thank you, Narisha. Well done. This concludes the draw for the Challenge Cup Men 32nd finals. The 16 winners will be advancing to the 16 finals, where, as you can see from the chart that we will be showing in a moment, we have already seeded another 16 teams. These are the higher ranked ones, according to the latest ranking combining CEV Cup and Challenge Cup. The seeded teams will be playing the return matches at home. So it's all said and done. We just have to wait for the players to take to the courts and to deliver.
Thank you very much. I feel like I'm repeating myself again, but thank you again, Federico, for
You're welcome.
the explanations and just adding, this extra information about the teams. I think it really helps and it makes it easier to follow. So thank you. I swear you are a human volleyball encyclopedia.
Oh, thank you very much.
So thank you. And unfortunately, all good things must come to an end. But before we end this, we have to, we can't leave without saying a big thank you to all of the workers who work behind the scene, endless hours, sweating, giving a lot of their energy, time, and devotion, and also dedication to make this drawing of lots happen. Without them, this would not be possible. And we also have some special people who have been with this program for a long, long time. And today,
well, that is very true, Narisha. We have someone who is leaving the CEV after 17 years of dedicated service. So we would like to say goodbye to Krzysztof Turowski and to thank him for all the work, the hard work, and the dedication that he showed throughout so many years. And we wish him all the best in his well-deserved retirement.
Yes, I'm gonna miss him, I have to say.
Me too, every day.
Like a little tear in my eye. Thank you very much for everything that you have done for CEV and for the drawing of lots. Gonna miss you a lot. So Federico, I think this is the end, but we would like to encourage you for more information, more updates, and also if you want to follow your team, please do follow the CEV social media platforms on Instagram or also the CEV website. And there you can follow all of your favorite teams. So with that said, all good things must come to an end. Hopefully we'll see each other again next year.
I hope so too, Narisha.
Yeah, and hopefully we will see you all again at the next drawing of lots next year. So we're excited about the season that will begin in October. Enjoy, and until the next time, stay healthy, stay happy, and we will continue to stay a volleyball family. Bye. Thank you for joining us.
Bye.